So my phone has this thing where the front camera, for whatever reason, doesn't really hear my voice right, um, and so then no matter what it is that I have to say, it doesn't actually get across to people because it just sounds like I'm under an ocean or something like that. So I'm using my phone as it's normal, like, I can't actually see myself right now. And I was like, well, I never want to use my phone like that because when I can see myself, then I know that I'm like in focus. I know that, whatever. And then I thought, I have a GoPro and it definitely takes better videos than my iPhone. I mean, that's just, it was made to, so it does. The iPhone, I have an iPhone 8 and it's great. I have an iPhone 7. It's great. I like the way that those things record when they don't have those issues. But it would be nice to use the GoPro. But I'm thinking to myself, probably one of the reasons why I haven't been using the GoPro is because it doesn't have a screen on it that I can see myself. And it shouldn't, because that's not really its purpose. So then I thought maybe I just need to get used to making videos where I can't see myself and just assume that the video will turn out to be what it needs to be. Because I'm at a place where I got things to say. And I'm going to be honest, to sit down at my computer and type out the book I need to write, like, it's happening, but it's taking me a while because that's not how my brain works. Like, I totally can sit down and type out tons of words in a second. But when my thoughts are coming and they're the kind of thoughts that I know are changing me and turning me into the person I need to be, like, I need a better way to be able to record those than to have to, like, pull it back up, type it, whatever. Like, in real life, I need the important things that are coming to me to be recorded. So that's one thing, is that I really need to start using that. But I'm in the house right now. I live in an RV, and it's quite lovely, but it doesn't have running water. It doesn't have a bathroom. It doesn't have a shower. So I come into the home of my friends who own the RV and own the property for which it's on. And it's like literally just like, I don't know, maybe 20 feet from the sliding glass door is the door to the RV. But because it doesn't, have those different elements of functionality, I come into the house to do certain things. Well, I'm at this place where I'm realizing that so much of my passion is teaching kids. Not because I think the kids aren't doing great, because they really are doing great with the understanding that we've given them so far. And I mean kids in general, and we as the adults, the people who should know it a little bit better. I'm realizing how important it is to me to be able to impact the kids of the world, because I'm realizing that at 37 years old, I should not still be struggling with some of the things that I'm struggling with. But I am struggling with them because I wasn't taught how to do it better. And then I was in some ways taught to do things better, but then I started breaking my own rules. So, for instance, I came into the house in search of a step stool, which I found. I found a ladder step stool. This one right there. I also decided that I wanted another cup of coffee. Now, let me tell you, this machine I've really enjoyed. I've never had espresso before, and I've never even thought about the concept of what an espresso machine is. But you get to set your cup there, and then you tell it what you want, these options, the strength and whatever. And if you press this button twice, it presses it 2 times. And so then the coffee that it makes for you is pretty strong, and then you put water in it. So I'm going to be honest, I never knew that's, basically what espresso was. And I should, I'm a grown adult. I should know that, right? But I didn't. And so it's kind of cool to think of this machine. But so here's a thing where I was breaking my own rule. I was telling my kids that they need to clean up after themselves every time. And I mean, I definitely was able to give allowances for, okay, yeah, none of us have really been doing it, but we need to, and but I still definitely gave myself more permission to not follow my rules than I was willing to give my kids. So let me tell you what the next step of this is. You know, you get your cup. It's got this like super concentrated coffee in it. It's really delicious, smells amazing. You put your water in, and then I come over here, and I decided I wanted to take a video because this is, whoa, things are falling. This is where I am. You know, this is what's happening. I'm about to start my book. It's going to be a book called The Science of Adulting, with the undertitle, or maybe just written on the cover because it's really long. I don't ever want someone to include all of this in the title. But basically, The Science of Adulting, all the things you should have learned as a child and should be teaching the children in your life right now. So one of those rules with my kids, you know, clean off the counter. Well, the next step, I really like this cup too. The next step to this super concentrated, awesome espresso. And this video too, like I've been thinking, I really like the idea of telling people my functional consumer reports. Like, I don't necessarily read consumer reports. However, as a consumer who uses stuff, in this particular case, I am drinking the espresso blend dark roast, rich and intense. Wow. Yeah, that's great. Whole bean coffee. And it's delicious. So that is what is in here, made by that machine and put into this gorgeous cup, which normally I have my own Hydro Flask cup that I use. But anyway, I decided I wanted this. It reminds me of my grandma, which is actually why I drink coffee now. I drink it really to remember her. I remember when I was like 4 or 5 years old, she would take me to church with her early on Sunday mornings. It was a Baptist church, and she played handbells. And so she would take me, and for some reason I remember having small cups of coffee. And I don't know if it was decaf, because I don't know. I mean, or maybe my grandma was just like, hey, yeah, have some coffee. It's just a little, go for it. Anyway, I enjoy that. So here I am. I've got my cup, my coffee. It's hot. It's ready for sugar. I come over here. This is the sugar container. Well, sometimes this doesn't have as much light on it. So I'm going to be honest. I have never realized that there was this much sugar on the countertop. But the point is, all of this right here, this is me breaking my own rule. And maybe I didn't realize it because, you know, this isn't my home. And so at the end of the day, I don't go around wiping off this counter inside. But I should always be paying attention to the mess that I'm making, especially if it's in someone else's home, you know? Like, if you're not going to be the person at the end of the day to make sure that it gets cleaned up, then you should probably be the person who cleans it up when you make the mess. So that is the first installation of The Science of Adulting. Clean up after yourself every single time. And yes, there may be reasons within time constraint of why you can't, but unless you know you're going to come back and do it, and you're committing to come back and do it at a different time, in the moment, like literally, I'm not even going to say that you need a rag, but in this case where we're talking about sugar all over the counter, I could move the things out of the way, take my hand, and I know it's gritty, it's gross. We know what we feel when we walk on sugar on the floor. It's about what it feels like on your hand. So you go and you just bring it all together. Now I do have a rag here, and that's my intention, is to go and wipe it all down. But I'm talking about what can you do when you're at a guest, you know, you're a guest in someone else's house and you make a little bit of a mess, or what can you expect that your kids should do? Now, okay, I totally think that most kids who can wash their own hands, at least, they can wipe down a counter with a rag. But let's just say that they don't. We all know this method. You bring all the pieces to the edge. I'm holding my phone in this other hand, so I can't do it. But you know, you would put it in your hand, and then you throw it in the trash can, or you throw it in the sink if you've got a garbage disposal, or, you know, whatever. You dispose of it, because that's what you do. Now, in this particular case, I do actually still see some stuck on sugar. So I am going to use the rag. But this is just like that 101 of general common courtesy to the fact that if you leave behind a mess from what you did, you should always clean it up. Adulting 101. Always clean up your own messes. There you go. So I'm going to do this, and I feel like I need both hands, and also this fabulous stuff is losing its... Oh yeah, but I still have to add the water. These things are so cool to me. I did turn it on before, so it may or... Yeah, see, it's already going so fast. I could probably sit and watch that, like, all day. So yeah, I guess it doesn't technically matter that my espresso is getting not hot. But this is... That's hot. That's all.